What if you woke up tomorrow and your light switch did nothing not because of a power outage, but because the foundational technology of modern life had never been invented at all? What if electricity, the silent force that powers everything from the tiniest cell phone chip to the largest industrial complex, simply did not exist? It is a difficult thought experiment because electricity is not just a technology. It is the language of modern civilization. To remove it is to wipe the slate clean, throwing us back into an era of perpetual darkness and mechanical brute force. We are not talking about a world without smartphones. We are talking about a world without the fundamental understanding of electromagnetism that allows us to generate, store, and transmit energy in the ways we do today. This world is cold, slow, and permanently stuck in a technological adolescence. Let us explore the profound reality of a world without electrons flowing on command. The most immediate change would be how we live, moment to moment. Imagine an existence where the sun is the only reliable source of light. When it sets, the world falls into profound darkness, relieved only by flickering gas lamps, candles, or oil lanterns. Fire safety becomes a daily, mortal concern, and the air quality in urban centers would be perpetually poor due to the constant burning of fuel for lighting and heat. Forget the refrigerator. Food preservation reverts to salting, drying, pickling, and massive, costly ice harvesting operations. Cities would require armies of laborers dedicated solely to transporting and storing ice blocks gathered from cold climates. The global supply chain for perishable goods effectively vanishes. Your diet would be entirely local, seasonal, and heavily preserved. Cooking, too, is redefined. Electric ovens, induction stoves, and microwaves are gone. Everything is cooked on cumbersome wood, coal, or gas stoves, demanding constant attention, ventilation, and significantly heating the interior of homes, even in summer. Domestic life becomes arduous and time-consuming. Now consider the heart of the first industrial revolution, manufacturing. While steam power would still be dominant, factories would be dark, dangerous places. Without electric motors, every tool and machine must be directly driven by belts and shafts connected to a central steam engine. This limits flexibility, efficiency, and the size of factories. Mass production, as we know it, would struggle to achieve the scale we rely on today. But the most devastating change occurs in how humans interact globally. Electricity is the nervous system of modern communication. Without it, the telegraph never happens. The telephone, radio, television, and the internet are impossible fantasies. News travels at the speed of steamship or horseback. Information that takes seconds to cross continents today would take weeks or months. This fractured communication system means global coordination, diplomacy, and trade are immensely slower and more prone to error. Governments would rule empires that are often technologically disconnected from the central power source, leading to decentralization and political instability. Transportation faces crippling limitations. Yes, steam trains would still crisscross continents, relying on coal and complex mechanical engineering. However, the internal combustion engine, the core of the modern automobile, struggles to exist. Why? Because the gasoline engine requires the spark plug, a small, yet utterly vital electrical component needed to ignite the fuel. While extremely complicated mechanical systems might be devised to achieve ignition, they would be unreliable, costly, and bulky. The mass-produced, personal vehicle, the cornerstone of 20th century freedom and suburban sprawl, simply would not exist. Urbanization would be intense, relying heavily on foot traffic, bicycles, and steam-powered public transit that runs on fixed routes. If the impact on industry and infrastructure is significant, the consequences for human health are catastrophic. Modern medicine is inseparable from electricity. Start with sterilization. High-pressure steam and extreme heat were the first answers. But modern hospitals rely on electrical appliances and sterile environments maintained by constant electrical power. Without it, the risk of infection in any surgery skyrockets. Diagnosis reverts to guesswork. There are no X-rays, no CT scans, and no MRIs. These technologies rely entirely on manipulating electromagnetic radiation. A doctor must rely solely on physical examination, patient history, and educated conjecture. Internal injuries, tumors, and broken bones are often treated blindly. Furthermore, advanced surgical equipment, monitoring devices, and life support systems are immediately decommissioned. Pacemakers, defibrillators, and complex laboratory analysis vanish. Infant mortality rates climb drastically, and the average human lifespan would be far shorter, haunted by diseases we now consider easily manageable. We would be living in a world perpetually plagued by the infections and injuries that the 20th century largely defeated. The ultimate price of a world without electricity is technological stagnation. The second and third industrial revolutions never occur. There is no electronics age, no microchip, no transistor, and therefore no computing. The pinnacle of information technology would remain the purely mechanical calculating machines invented by figures like Charles Babbage. These machines, while ingenious, are enormous, slow, and cannot manage the massive data required for modern society. Our global economy would be perpetually tied to the sheer force of mechanical power, coal, steam, and water power. Technological leaps would be agonizingly slow, confined by the limits of gears, levers, and metallurgy. Scientific research would be severely hampered by the lack of precise measuring instruments, high-powered microscopes, and reliable chemical analysis equipment that all depend on electricity. Without a global energy grid, power is decentralized and regional. Nations rich in coal, oil, or easily harnessed rivers would hold immense power, but that power is localized. There is no way to efficiently move energy across vast distances. The concept of a unified global economy reliant on instantaneous communication and interconnected markets simply disappears. This hypothetical world is one defined by weight and friction. It is a loud world, full of the clatter of steam engines and the hiss of gaslight. It is a slow world, where time is measured by the pace of the locomotive and the handwritten letter. It is a dark world, where a significant portion of the day is lost to low light and the struggle against natural entropy. We often talk about what inventions electricity enabled. But perhaps the deeper realization is that electricity did not just create technologies, it created modernity itself. It broke the bonds of geographic isolation and mechanical limitation, allowing our civilization to breathe, connect, and think at a speed previously unimaginable. To live without electricity is to be forever trapped in the technological dark ages, forever striving to overcome limitations that we, today, solve simply by flicking a switch. It serves as a stark reminder of the fragile, yet profound, genius that underpins the modern world we so often take for granted.